Serious, what would you do if your so asked you to have an open relationship? I was asked. I said no. Things carried on as normal for a few months. Then I found out that the reason she asked was because she was cheating on me. Bye bitch. She asked. I said no. She did it anyway. I'm in the process of moving out. Edit. Thanks, everyone. Too much to respond to, but I'll be fine. I know who I am and what I'm worth. I have plenty of opportunities, but I'm taking it easy on myself for a bit. I would not want to take an established monogamous relationship and turn it into an open one. I'd say I'm not interested, and I would ask them if that was a deal breaker for them. Open relationships tend to work out better when they start that way and have clear expectations. I actually said yes, and it killed the relationship very quickly. It was not that much of a stretch for us. We would participate in group scenes, but we always came as a pair. There were never any issues, and it even brought us closer together. We were able to flirt as a team and explore our sexualities. There was never any jealousy. But when she requested we open it up, she also started ignoring our explicit, agreed-upon terms. More than any physical act, that felt like cheating. And when I spoke up about it, I got dumped. I would ask them why they suddenly want an open relationship after dating me for so long, and be honest with them. I would tell them that open relationships aren't something I'm comfortable with because I like monogamy. If they can't be happy with me in a monogamous relationship, then it would be over. I'd say no, but I would want to sit and have several conversations about why they wanted that and how we can retool our relationship if that's what's needed. It could ultimately lead to an ending, but he's my person, I'm not throwing that away when it could be salvaged. My self-confidence is already terrible, so feelings would be hurt. Lol. 1. I would say no because I am not interested in sleeping with other people, and I know having my partner sleep with others would not maintain our emotional bond. 2. I would consider leaving because while open relationships work for a lot of people, my partner asking me to open would show a great misunderstanding of who I am and what I've been through. A big enough misunderstanding of who I am at my core that we should not be together. Let's get the divorce papers and open it all the way up. Don't do it. My best friend and his wife are in an open relationship right now and it's going badly. It was fine at first, but now their marriage is in shambles because she caught feelings for one of the guys she has been having sex with, and now that guy is threatening to put my friend in the hospital if he doesn't leave. He has spent the last 2 weekends with me in my apartment because the guy has been spending time at his house, with his wife. He is so fucking sad. I can see the pain in his eyes while he tells me about it. Edit. A little more information. The interloper is an alcoholic, narcissistic, 2 times in prison for drugs and violence, extremely controlling piece of shit. My friend is just trying to fix his marriage. He thinks things will blow over eventually, but I'm not convinced. The threatening usually only happens when the interloper is drinking, and he has been staying with me Thursday through Saturday just to keep the peace if the interloper goes to their house. Edit 2. I'm having trouble replying to comments. There are just so many. Don't feel like I'm ignoring you if I don't reply. He can have an open relationship without me in it. If I wanted an open relationship, then I would just remain single. Well, I agreed, but only out of fear of losing her. It broke me. And I lost her anyway to a guy she met in a swinger club and who basically could be her father. Never again. Also, everyone I know who did it learned the hard way shit like this doesn't work out in like 99% of cases. Already responded for myself. But another story, my sister is bi and my brother-in-law said he was okay if she dated women but not men. She did and enjoyed that time. After that she decided she was comfortable if he wanted to date some women. They set parameters beforehand and were very open. In the end they both realized that they had the fun they wanted and decided to not see other people. So it's a mixed bag. It depends on the people, communication levels, established bonds, and trust. I couldn't handle my seeing other people. But as stated previously, I'd be okay with a temporary third coming into our relationship. I'm a stark monogamist. I'd probably leave the relationship. If it's a marriage, well, that's trickier. I had been in this situation 2 times. First time I was young and had no experience. It was my first boyfriend and I had a lot of family problems, so I was afraid of being alone. I accepted it and was a mistake. We broke up 6 months into the open relationship deal and I was left feeling really empty. Funny how he got married with one of the girls he met in that period. He now is recently single after a nasty divorce. Domestic abuse, cheating, etc. About 5 years later a boyfriend tried to pull the same one on me. I just ended things right away and saved myself from the pain. This guy is still single to date, and older than 40. So, I would stay away from any guy who wants an open relationship, especially if it started as monogamy and he wants to change the rules of game. My current relationship, and hopefully my last, seeing as we're engaged, has only ever been monogamous save for the occasional threesome, and I'd like for it to stay that way. However, I have been in relationships in the past that were varying degrees of open and closed, and they weren't uniformly bad experiences, so it's not like I'm repulsed by the idea. The first thing I'd do is say to my partner I need some time to digest this. I'd think about our relationship in the past few months, our conversations, the time we've spent together, our sex life, if we've had any disagreements, etc., and take a mental inventory of how I think things are going. Next, I'd sit down with my partner, be honest with him about personally not wanting an open relationship, and ask him his perspectives on the same things, and compare how close our answers were. If they were wildly different, I would suggest putting the open relationship issue on the back burner and start talking about couples therapy. If they were only somewhat different, we'd have a talk about why our perspectives differed in the ways they did, and whether or not any of those perspective differences led to this mismatch of expectations. If the answers were basically the same, we'd have a discussion about why our conclusions were as different as they were. If the first conversation went well, and we ended up being largely on the same page, I would say I know I've said I'm not a fan of the idea, and I'm still not, but I'd like to get an idea of what your expectations of an open relationship are. Does it involve each of us taking the initiative of inviting other people into our bedroom, but not sleeping with other people solo? Would it be solo extracurricular activity but with clear discussion beforehand? What kind of discussions would take place? Who would be involved? Do you just want to fuck whoever whenever without input from me, or me to fuck whoever I want with no input from you? Is this a kink thing, like cuckoldry or voyeurism? Etc. etc. Once I got an idea of what form the openness would take, and why he thought it'd be a good idea, I would think some more about it. Now from where I'm sitting right now I think there's a 99% chance I'd say no, but if upon reflection and a genuine consideration of the idea I realized that I wouldn't be opposed to whatever the terms were, I'd tell him that, and we'd go from there. If I realized I didn't want to do it, I would be honest with him, and explain why, in completely open and honest terms, why I'm not. This is the end of the advice that I can give you. Everything else is dependent upon your partner, you, your relationship, your history together, and your temperaments. I will say this though, if your partner is unwilling to put this kind of effort into the discussion, and tries to deflect or dissemble or otherwise minimize the discussion, you need to reevaluate the relationship. A partner that throws something like this at you and then refuses to be patient in their response doesn't respect you. TLDR, communication. Constant, open, honest, complete communication. Leave no avenue unexplored and no potential discussion undiscussed. Changing a relationship from closed to open isn't just an exciting experiment, it is a major reevaluation of one of the most important parts of your lives. Treat the discussion with the respect it deserves. Sit down and discuss. Depending on the reasons it will be the end of a relationship or not. If it's not the end, then we're establishing boundaries and going forward. Part of that conversation is stating your own feelings, truthfully. If you have any uneasy feelings or outright fears, they must be discussed. My conversation went like this: I understand your needs in this situation. And to be honest, I don't know if this is something that I can do because I've never done it before and because I've been cheated on 3 times. I am willing to try, and if I can't do it, then our relationship will end. Honesty goes a long way, both ways. An open relationship can function well if both parties are honest with each and with themselves. A lot of people can do it. A lot of people can't. If you're one that can't, then do not struggle through it. Ultimately, it's not worth it. Trying to struggle through will only poison your relationship with someone you love. Resentment will grow and you can end up hating someone you loved. Which to me is a worse thought than ending it even though you love them. Mine asked me 7 months ago and I stupidly accepted. I'm monogamous still, and it hurts, even on the best days I think about it. I've told him how I felt about it, but he said he loves the other person too much to end it. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years, and it hit like a rock. Edit. I've discussed with my boyfriend again how awful it feels and what you guys have said, and I am happy to say that he is going to break up with the other person. He said it's going to take some time, but as soon as he can, he will. Thank you all so very much for your input and helping me get this sorted. If that's what they want and nothing else would make them happy, break up. I don't have the mental health fortitude to deal with the anxiety and insecurity I know I would feel for not being enough. Say it's not for me, and if they want to go ahead, then we have to end things. I was briefly the other person in an open marriage. After a few months it was difficult to know if the husband or myself was more miserable. Might work for some people but not for me. I honestly would love to have the discussion with them and feel a little relieved. Due to my personal health/stress/schedule, I know I am not meeting their needs fully. I also don't like having to compromise and have a miserable time. I do, however, want their needs met and them to flourish. There would have to be some serious rules, but I definitely think it'd work out for the best. I also would love the opportunity to explore my sexuality as well. I'm perfectly fine with not ever having those experiences, but if it were an option I'd love to know. Something else I feel is important to say, especially since I haven't seen anyone else say it. I want my partner to feel comfortable bringing anything to me. I think a healthy relationship is one where everyone feels comfortable to bring up absolutely anything without being met with hostility and ultimatums. If I haven't done my part to foster that relationship, then I have failed my partner. I think I might be gay, I think I might be trans, I think I might want to explore, I think I want to change careers, I think I want to change religions, I think my needs have changed, whatever it may be. I want to be a safe space for them. It would be a deal breaker for me. To each their own, but I couldn't be in an open relationship. I've wondered if it would work for my partner and I at some different points, but obviously we'd need to work on fixing any serious issues in the relationship before really considering that. If we were in a healthy place in our relationship, we'd discuss the idea and what sort of boundaries we'd have, sit on it for a while to make sure it's something we wanted, and then proceed as we've decided after a particular amount of time. I've got some poly friends that have done it successfully for years,